What's cracking, everybody? How you doing? Buenos dias, saludos. Good morning, man. I got a little thing that busted on my arm, dude. I'm gonna be like that little guy that bled out. I was gonna bleed out. I almost died from this, but I went home and patched it up, and I'm fine. Man, that little guy's too much. Dude. That little dude is just way too much. Anyways, I wanted to talk about what's cracking on YouTube. I was having a conversation with somebody, and we're from the same era. And he brought up Face. Asked me, hey, do you know the dude? I talked to him on one occasion. He was very respectful, and I got nothing else to say about the dude. He's, oh, well, supposedly there's this floating around. And I was like, well, I never seen it. And he brought it up to me and was like, hey, why didn't you look at it? I told him, you know why I didn't look at it. Same reason you didn't look at it. He started laughing. It's funny because the same era that we grew up in, there was a reason why we didn't look at it. Things have changed throughout the years, I assume. And unless you really understood the culture that I'm talking about, you probably wouldn't understand why we didn't look at it. And I got no dog in the fight with anybody. I'm not playing prison rules or politics and stuff. I'm completely out of that life. I'm like I said, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, and I'm a husband. I'm more worried about that than anything, and trying to keep these youngsters from following the same footsteps I followed. The other day I had a conversation with another homie talking about the gang violence, and it was funny because my one of my finals papers was gang violence and why gangs exist, and I can tell you from what I read, I went all the way back to the '60s on why gangs existed and uh, the experts and the scholars and criminologists and psychologists and sociologists, all these people are talking about why gangs exist, why it's so popular with the youth, and among other things. So I go back to reading because I got to do a research paper on it, and I'm doing a bibliography. I know I probably didn't pronounce that right, but I'm doing a research paper, so I have to go into the research itself and read all these 2,000 word essay, 2,000 word on research, and then 2,000 words on the research paper, which essentially is an essay. So I'm reading into it, and I understood one thing looking at from the '60s all the way to the present time on all these individuals speaking, so-called experts speaking on gang violence and why gangs exist and why kids get involved. And I can tell you one thing: that these guys have no idea. One guy speaks about it's an attack on masculinity. That's how somebody becomes a man, by being in a gang in the inner cities. Another guy we're talking about is just self-identification. That's how you figure out who you are, by getting into a gang. Then we have peer pressure. We have all these traits. And redoing the research, I can understand one thing. One thing for particularly is gang members hold a few traits that might surprise you where they came from. We have gang members are not tattletales. Gang members stick up for family and friends. Gang members will not be punked. and so on, right? These little traits are traits that we learned at home. We didn't learn those on the streets. We learned those at home. That was our parents teaching these traits, and those were three main traits that go into gang membership. When we get our friends or homies, these are people that we love, friends that we respect, we hold dear in our lives, and they say a community, it takes a community to raise a child. Well, that child is raised in a barrio, and that child, everybody's connected. And if you've been from a barrio, you understand that. You know that we're all connected somewhere or another. Some are family, just close friends, or should be family because they've been around each other for so long. It's rare when somebody just comes from outside and gets into the barrio and gives a fuck about what the homies are going through. So as I go on, I learned that these experts don't know anything about it, and a lot of them will praise Homeboy Industries, Victory Outreach, Narcotics Anonymous, programs like that help reform gang members. The one thing about that is when they're reforming gang members, um, their process is to break a gang member down verbally, make fun of him that he gangbang, make fun of him, make little jokes about it. It's not which were not meant to be harsh, but just to break down that person so that their mentality is different when they come back up. Now they don't do it to be vicious. They don't do it to attack somebody. They do it to rebuild that person. So their intentions are good. I'm not saying what they're doing is good, but their intentions are good. Now, if you're a gang member and you go to these programs like Homeboy Industries, Victory Outreach, Narcotics Anonymous, there's a good chance that you're going to look at them as less desirable people you want to hang out with. Now, I'm not saying all members of those groups have messed up, but there's a good chunk of them that have messed up and went had to go to that lifestyle, and that is where they kind of redeem themselves because nobody's gonna attack somebody in NA on Homeboy Industries or Victory Outreach because they're trying to get their life together. And even though we're a gang member, we still want to be able to get our lives together. We want to be able to come out of this with a home and a car and a job and a good family. But a lot of us, when we look at those programs, we're like, nah, homie, that dude screwed up. You might know somebody, just one person, and it just spoils a whole lot for everybody. That you know that one dude had screwed up somewhere along the line. He couldn't come back to our life. So he took the one shot he had to change. Now, I'm not, like I said, I am not disrespecting any of those groups, and I'm not trying to paint a picture about those groups. What I am saying is this is how some of us look at it. I'm not saying all of us, but some of us look at it that way. So we tend to not want to go that route a lot of times. So as I'm learning this, I'm understanding that the people that from outside, these scholars, these experts, they look at those programs and they look at this thing and say, this is where it's at. This is why they do what they do. This is how you change it. Okay, but then they're not looking at it as a gang member's perspective. They look at the gang member between the ages of 13 to 25. Now, anybody that's been involved in that gang life knows this goes way past 25. This goes, and we got gang members at 60 plus years old that are still living that life, still involved in it, still doing things for the gang. So this is not an adolescent problem. It started as an adolescent problem and grew into a problem, period. So these experts really don't know anything about gangs. That's why you can't count on these people to solve the problem for us. Because as a gang members, we're always told don't trust them, don't tell them the truth about anything. You just give them whatever answer they want to hear. And I think that holds true. So when a gang member talks to somebody or a kid talks to somebody, doesn't really know how to describe how they feel or what they're going through, that they just come on with some bullshit. I think the people that are supposedly gang experts, these police officers, really think that they're going to learn what a gang is about through a book. And anybody that's been in that life knows you can't learn how to be a gang member through a book. Just like you can't learn to be a football player and be in a pinch in a football game and understand what you're going to go through because you need to feel it. So I think they need to go back into understanding what a gang member is and what it details, because right now what they're teaching or what they're trying to show our kids is not the right thing. And I bring this up because, like I said, I wrote a term paper and I've been really thinking about lately, and I understand that these guys, I know at my age, a lot of people are still claiming to be from a gang. I am done with that. I am doing my own thing. Um, like I said, I'm an island. As far as I'm concerned, I ain't got no homeboys no more. I'm from Elmwood, that's it, period. But I ain't got no homies no more. I'm gonna do my own thing, live my life, and do what I gotta do. But these guys, these experts, are making money on gangs. And you talk about gangs is to these people that are experts and scholars and criminologists and sociologists and psychologists. These guys are all making money off us. To them, that's all this is. This is about making money. Gang experts, hardcore gang prosecutors, and crash units. It's all about making money to them. It's not about stopping what we do. The kids need to hear things like what I'm talking about now. That they don't care about you, they could care less. All you are is money to them. And they wanted the gangs to continue so that they can make their money. It's just something I was thinking about recently. Thought I'd share it with you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. Have a blessed one, man.